10 minutes on a sofa with Kote Sulamanidze, CEO of Progress Bank. We're happy to have you here on the sofa this evening, and I would like to give you a word. Maybe you want to speak something to all our guests.
Well, first of all, thank you for coming to Georgia and having this event. It's very nice to see my colleagues together, so it's very good, and thank you all for asking and preparing questions to me. I'm ready to answer all of your questions, so we can start.
Thank you, Kote. And first question, dear Kote, which segment from your point of view will be most attractive for banks in 2013?
Well, actually, it comes from the priorities of the country. So, as far we know, and as far it's published by the government of Georgia, the main priority for the country is agriculture. So we must focus on agriculture, which is somehow, I would say, not very popular now, and I'm sure it will be one of the key points for Georgia in a second. So I bet on agriculture.
Thank you. Let's see how it will be. Вопрос на русском языке. Как отразится на банковском секторе новая политическая обстановка? How will affect the banking sector new political situation?
Well, how it was affecting previously with previous political situation. Well, the main point, I think that the new political environment will be totally out of the banking segment. That's the key point for us. So, for instance, the most beneficial things that government can do is to be totally out of the banking segment. So this is the most positive way. Once they will get and they will become our friends, so trust me, it will go worse. So it's better to stay far away from politics and to do our business.
Okay, thank you. And the next question, we go question by question because we have many questions for you. Given the big competition from large banks and use of economies of scale, how can small and mid-sized banks position themselves to compete in the market?
Well, it actually depends what are their ambitions, whether they want their competitions of the big banks or whether they want to stay in the middle-sized banks out there. But I would advise all the banks to be somehow secondary banks of the large corporate banks. For instance, currently the leading Georgian banks are focused on large big clients to be totally served by them. And for the clients it's also bad because they need some alternative banks, they need some alternative support in case if their primary bank will not support them. So here it is a free space where middle banks can enter and can work with the large corporates as their secondary bank and to finance their secondary needs with more cautious and more smaller amounts.
Thank you. A few words about the strategy of Progress Bank for the next 5 years.
Well, the past 4 years, the Progress Bank is still 4 years old, so the past 4 years was, I would say definitely that the forecast 5 years will be much more different than the past 4 years. We'll enter into a universal banking segment. So far we were more working with SME segmented clients, and now we will shift into retail segment. I think that retail segment is the most useful for the country as well, because you have lots of clientele and the bank will much more safe when you have lots of clients rather than relying on some couple of big large corporates. So retail is a forecast of our future 5 years and we'll expand our activities in the segment.
Okay, thank you very much. Progress Bank is a passive player at the moment. After activating, what will be your competitive advantage?
Who asked this question? Who said that word? Well, it was difficult to be active, frankly speaking, so you all are aware what was happening with our bank and with our partner bank as well. So trust me, this situation changed, and now we have lots of freedom in doing business. So in a couple of months, you will not have such questions. Just you will see where we will stand and what we will do with the Georgian market in banking.
Thank you. Do you plan to be more active player at the market, and if yes, on which segment you will be focused on? It was retail you answered.
Yes, it's somehow linked with retail, so this question is partially answered.
Okay, we go to next question. It is long question. What would happen if one bank was deciding suddenly to decrease very significantly the interest rates of the loans, starting by Progress Bank, for example?
Well, I would say that for Progress Bank and for our clients, the interest rate is not the key point for decision making. The client must feel respect when they are with you. So when they feel something important with you, having less interest rate than the other banks does not matter so much for big clients. So I would say on behalf of Progress Name that we will not follow them in this game. We will keep our work with the existing interest rate and with the we will keep our existing margin for the clients. So if they will decrease the loan, then it's their politics, they can do their business, but we will not follow it.
Your forecast for the future interest rates on loans, shall they increase or decrease, and why? Similar.
I hope it will decrease, and I'm sure it will decrease, because Georgia is becoming more and more interesting and more attractive country for the whole world. So once the world is interested in you, you get more fundings, you get more cheap money, and you do business much more easier. So we will definitely, in Georgia, will definitely decrease the interest rates, but we must not, I would say, we must not wait for it to do this in a couple of months. We must be patient, we must wait for it, and it will take a period, but not as big and not as less as we expect.
Thank you. I see our auditory like questions about loans. So here, okay. What interest rates will be in 2 years on consumer loans?
0 interest rate. Are you happy with the answer?
Okay, and we have a last question. Please, name top 5 banks in 5 years.
Okay, so I'll rate top 5 banks in the world.
Or in Georgia. This question was about what or about Georgia?
I will say about the world, maybe just briefly saying Citibank, Deutsche Bank, Commerzbank, JP Morgan, and the fifth can be either either Chinese bank or either Progress Bank. So it's difficult to answer right now. But as for the Georgian, you can answer yourself. So let's see in 5 years what will happen.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your answers.
Thank you all.